Okay, now dealing with fractions. On every fraction, we have percentage, ratio, and proportion. Percentage is just dividing something into 100 equal parts. That's what percentage is. That's why percentage is always over 100. Now you're giving questions here. The first one is find the value of the following: 10% of 200x. 10% of 200x. 10% is 10% is over 100 times 200x. This is pretty easy. Now what you do here, look at these two. You can see 0 here, take off 0 here, 0 here, take off 0 here. What you have there is just 10 times 2. 10 times 2 will give you 20x. Therefore, 10% of 200x is 20x. Now you go to the B part. Let's continue here. B is that what is the product of 50% of 30 and 25% of 40? Now, product means times. That means we are going to look for 50% of this, keep it, and multiply it by 25% of 40. Now, let's look for 50%. 50% of 30 times, that's product. 25% of what? 40. Now, I think we can take up the zeros. This 0 here can remove this 0. This 0 remove this 0. What you have here is 5 times 3, which will give you 15 times. This 0 can take up this 0. Now you have, what do you have here? You have 25 over 10 times 4. This 25 times 4 already is going to give you what? 25 times 4 is going to give you 100 over this 10 here. Now you have this 0 takes off this 0. 15 times 10 is 150. Therefore, 150 is the answer. You go to C. The question is, increase the following by 30% each. That means you should increase it by 30%. What it means that take 30% of that and add it to the original stuff. Now, the original thing here is, for the first one, is 210 goals. Let's see what's 30%. 30% of 210 goals. Let's take off the 0. This 0 takes off this 0. This 0 takes off this 0. What you have here is 3 times 21, which will give you what? 63. Am I correct? Yes. 63 goals. They say you should increase, right? What it means is that you now say this original thing, 210, you add that 63. This will give you 273 goals. You can see that because we are asked to increase, when we take 30% of this, we'll now add it to the original 210 goals. But if we have to decrease, what to do, instead of adding it, we reduce it. That's the difference. Now also, we have this part for 100 goals. Now I say 30% of 100. This 20, this 20, we have 30 goals. That means you say increase it also. You're going to add this original 100 goals plus the 30 goals. That is 130 goals. That's how you increase by percentage. Now for the last one, we have been asked to convert the following percentages to ratio. First one there is 14%. That's 14 over 100. How do you convert it to ratio? You break it down to the lowest possible 10. What can go here and here? 2 can go. If 2 goes here, is 7. 2 goes here, is 50. This is the lowest you can go. Therefore, this is now the same thing as 7 is to 50. That's how you change it. That's for the A part. Sorry. You can now for the B part here, which is 50%. That's 50 by 100. You can see, let's say 0 takes off 0. You have 5 over 10. 5 goes into itself is 1. 5 goes into 10 is 2. That is equals to 1 is to 2. If that is 1 is to 2, that means you have been able to change percentage to ratio. Pause. Now, if 2 children share 2,000 naira in the ratio 1 is to 2, how much did each child get? Now, for you to know how much each child got, so what you do, you said individual ratio, individual ratio over total ratio times amount shared, times amount what? Shared. Let's say for child A, the individual ratio is 1, right? While total ratio means you have to add everything, right? 1 plus 2, that will give you 3 times 2,000. Therefore, for you to do that, for you to find the amount that this first person got, 1 times this is 2,000 over 3. If you say 2,000 over 3, pause. Don't play. Okay, now 2,000 divided by 3 is 666.6, you understand, approximately 7 naira. And this is what one person got. Alright. Now the second person, which is child B, you able to say individual ratio. That person's ratio was 2. 2 over total ratio. That means you add 1 plus 2, which will give you 3 times 2,000. Now this is going to be 2 times this 2,000 to give you 4,000 over 3. Pause. Already. Now if you say 4,000 divided by 3 is going to give you 1333.33, just like that, approximately. So therefore, the first one, this is naira. This is the share of one child, and this is the share of the other child. If you add this plus this, it's going to give you approximately 2,000. Like that.